So if you're following along, that's 6 total tests. Goddamn. Hey, Brian Miller here, author, speaker, magician, podcast host, and audio nerd. And this is gonna be a really, really simple, straightforward video. We're gonna dive right into it. This is a comparison, a three-way comparison between ye old standard, the Rode VideoMicro, popular alternative, the Movo VXR10, and newcomer to the market, AVerMedia, the AM133. I feel like Pierce Brosnan. So here we have 3 entry-level on-camera microphones, mostly designed with YouTubers and online video creators in mind. They're priced similarly within about $20 of each other, depending on what day it is and who you buy it from. But do they sound similar? Is any one of these the standout? Well, you know that in the past I've done a bunch of videos comparing the Rode VideoMicro and the Movo VXR10. But this newcomer, the AVerMedia AM133, might have some tricks up its sleeve, as it were. Now, this is the second in a series of videos featuring the AM133. The first you'll find right here. That was a vlog test and just initial thoughts after using it for one day on kind of a standard vlogging setup. But in this video, we are going to do a direct comparison between all 3 microphones. Now, unfortunately, I actually don't have any setup available to me where I could record all 3 of them simultaneously. So I'm gonna do this test 3 times, each time recording 2 of them simultaneously. First, the AM133 is gonna go head-to-head with the Rode VideoMicro. Then, the AM133 is gonna go head-to-head with the Rode VXR10. And finally, for good measure, we're gonna put the Rode VideoMicro up against the Movo VXR10 one more time. So this is gonna be a blind audio shootout, and if all you care about is listening to the samples, then go right here and skip ahead. And if you're still here, that means you actually care about learning, and I appreciate you. I really do. Each time they go head to head, you're gonna hear an A and a B. I'm not gonna tell you which one is which. You're not even gonna know which 2 microphones are going head to head in that particular test. All I want you to do is listen, and for each test, write down, do I like A better or do I like B better? And at the end of this video, I will reveal which mic was which in which test. But I'm not just gonna do the 3 tests I already said. For each of those tests, I'm gonna do 2 variations. The first version of each test will be with the microphone sitting really, really close, as if you were recording a podcast. And the second iteration will be with the microphone about, 12 to 16 inches away, as if you were doing a typical vlog setup with it sitting on top of your camera. So if you're following along, that is 6 total tests that we're gonna do right now. Before we get started, you might wanna draw a graph on a piece of paper to look something like this. And that's definitely gonna help you out when you listen. Okay, one last thing. It's worth noting that in all of these tests, the wind muff will be on each of the 3 microphones. That's to deal with plosives, that's to deal with wind noise. You should really always have the wind muffs on these particular microphones. And all of this audio is being recorded directly by the Tascam DR05 portable audio recorder. So this is like a test conditions environment. I'm in my home studio, I'm using dedicated audio gear. So grab your headphones, pop them in, and get ready because here it comes. Hey, Brian Miller here, and welcome back to One New Person, the show where we take a closer look at chance encounters to remind ourselves that every interaction is meaningful and every person we meet is important. Hey, Brian Miller here, and welcome back to One New Person, the show where we take a closer look at chance encounters to remind ourselves that every interaction is meaningful and every person we meet is important. Hey, Brian Miller here, author, speaker, magician, podcast host, and audio nerd. Hey, Brian Miller here, author, speaker, magician, podcast host, and audio nerd. Hey, Brian Miller here, and welcome back to One New Person, the show where we take a closer look at chance encounters to remind ourselves that every interaction is meaningful and every person we meet is important. Hey, Brian Miller here, and welcome back to One New Person, the show where we take a closer look at chance encounters to remind ourselves that every interaction is meaningful and every person we meet is important. Hey, Brian Miller here, author, speaker, magician, podcast host, and audio nerd. Hey, Brian Miller here, author, speaker, magician, podcast host, and audio nerd. Hey, Brian Miller here, and welcome back to One New Person, the show where we take a closer look at chance encounters to remind ourselves that every interaction is meaningful and every person we meet is important. Hey, Brian Miller here, and welcome back to One New Person, the show where we take a closer look at chance encounters to remind ourselves that every interaction is meaningful and every person we meet is important. Hey, Brian Miller here, author, speaker, magician, podcast host, and audio nerd. Hey, Brian Miller here, author, speaker, magician, podcast host, and audio nerd. And that's the test. All right, so it's time for the reveal. You have your paper ready? You know which one you liked in each one? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Is that long enough? Did I wait long enough? All right, so now that you know which one is which, I want to hear from you in the comments below. Which mic did you like best overall? Is there one of the 3 mics that you found yourself consistently enjoying? Why do you like it? What are the tonal characteristics? Was it because it was bassier or less bassy? Was it crisp? Was it warm? Which one did you like best? I will do a follow-up video to this telling you which one I liked best based on the blind shootout, because at the time I'm recording this, I haven't even heard the samples yet. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. I hope this was useful. If it was, head to the description down below. You'll find lots of links, not only to all 3 microphones, but you will find links to related videos, similar videos I've done in the past, and I will continue to update that description as I do more videos about this, the AM133. In upcoming videos, I will continue to explore the AM133 in a whole bunch of different scenarios, including on singer-songwriter pieces, outdoors, running and gunning, that sort of thing. If there's anything in particular you want to find out or you want to see me test, put that in the comments below.